I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies, and sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
Former assassin Hutch Mansell takes his family on a nostalgic vacation to a small-town theme park, only to be pulled back into violence when they clash with a corrupt operator, a crooked sheriff, and a ruthless crime boss. Nobody 2 released on August 15th, 2025, and is the sequel to the highly beloved Nobody that came out back in 2021. The film does have a solid cast here. Stars obviously Bob Odenkirk, coming here from Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and many other incredible movies. Also, Connie Nelson, Christopher Lloyd, John Ortiz, RZA, Sharon Stone, and many other actors also in this movie that are pretty phenomenal. Now, this movie was directed also by Tim Tahanto, who I haven't seen any of his other movies. This director is not from the first movie, a different director this time around, which I was definitely a little bit concerned about, but he did a cool job here also. Writing the movie here is Aaron Rabin and also Derek Kolstad. Cinematography here is by Callan Green, and composing the film is Dominic Lewis. And if you've been a fan of the John Wick films and the other Atomic Blonde stuff, the production and writers and stunt people, they're all kind of weaving in and out of all these movies. Nobody is one of them. So across a lot of those Universal action films, John Wick, Ballerina, Nobody, they're all under the same kind of umbrella, and Nobody here as well. They have some great action that you can definitely feel it has that John Wick feel to it, which was pretty cool. And my theory going to the movie, if you heard my episode where I talked about my most anticipated films left in the year, Nobody was in my top 10 most anticipated. I was very excited for this movie, and I thought it was going to be a great film. And I saw it on Monday, and I was underwhelmed. Not to say it was bad, but I was definitely underwhelmed. It's definitely a step down in quality from the first movie, unfortunately. And, I was just, I think, expecting a little bit more from the movie. And I'll reveal my score a little bit later and just my thoughts on this sequel and going into other sequels, what we could potentially see. But still going into it, I'll just go into first what I liked, then I'll go into what the movie did that just really didn't make it work for me. So going to the pros here, number one is the acting. Bob Odenkirk can really do no wrong. I'm a massive Breaking Bad fan. I started watching Better Call Saul. I got bored, and then I stopped, but I heard Better Call Saul is great, and he's an incredible actor in that also. And, I've always been a fan of him just from those 2 shows alone. But still, Bob Odenkirk, he's great. He was also in Little Women for a brief amount of time in that movie, and many other things. But he's definitely one of my personal, unsung heroes, favorite actors out there working today, and list goes on. I mean, really, I think in terms of the acting, I think that everyone acting-wise did a very good job. John Ortiz, he's been in a lot of movies. He's a legend in his own right, and he was very cool here, and I definitely want to see more from him if they ever do some kind of third installment. I hope he comes back. He was really cool in this film. And now, the acting is really good. The action, like I said previously, the stunt coordinators across the John Wick films and Atomic Blonde, and also the the Ballerina movie. They all are, they're kind of weaving all inside all these movies, and the action is a whole ton of fun. I mean, I really can't say anything wrong or bad about the stunt work and the action. They're the real heroes here for a lot of movies. I mean, it was just so cool seeing what they can come up with. It's like cartoony Looney Tunes, like, just the whimsical, just insane nature and insanity of the gore and the violence. What they're able to do with it is always going to be super cool for me. And, overall, this movie is just a simple movie. It doesn't need to do too much. It's a really fun time. I had a great time. I was definitely entertained. Like I said, was I a little bit underwhelmed? Yes, for reasons I'll get into a bit later. But the movie, it's super simple. It's a basic story. We have a hero. He goes into a new town. It's super shady with a ton of shady cops and shady officials. He has to go to war and fight all the bad guys and ride to the sunset with his lady. We've seen this kind of film many, many times before, all those old, Clint Eastwood Western movies and spaghetti Westerns and, samurai films, you name it. It's been done before. It's going to be done 1,000 times in the future. It's a very simple and basic script and basic setup here that's effective. It works really well. And, if you enjoyed the first movie for Nobody back in 2021, then most likely you'll have a little bit of fun here in the sequel like I did. I had a bit of fun here, but, I think that's still underwhelmed is the word I'd use. I'll just start going into cons right now. Like I said, literally just now, the movie is basic. It's simple and effective story about, our hero goes into a shady town, fights the bad guys, and runs us into the sunset. We've seen it before, and it's happened time and time again. It's going to happen in the future, blah, blah, whatever. It works here, but still, it was just, I think, predictable for me is a word I'd use, very predictable. And, I just think I wanted more. I understand it's Nobody 2. It's really just a fun action movie, a very fun dad movie. Your dad's going to like it. It's not, a lot of high stakes and, deep emotional and just intimate storytelling with its characters. None of that really at all here, which is okay. But still, it left me feeling a little bit underwhelmed because I kind of wanted more out of a sequel for this franchise. And, once again, maybe it's just me having my expectations maybe not set too high, but in my head having an expectation for something, then when I didn't get what I wanted, now I'm upset, which definitely is not good criticism at all, but still it just kind of felt soulless and, too campy and silly maybe at times that I kind of wanted more from things. I kind of wanted a little bit more from the characterization, and maybe something a little more fresh in the movie would have been nice here. It was entertaining, but still at times I was just kind of bored also by just, it was going in a direction that I knew where it was going, and I kind of wanted more from it, that I was upset in a bit of the movie. And going into another little con here is the villain. The villain here I did kind of like, but also didn't really like either. The villain here, I'm not going to exactly spoil it because it's, one villain, then another villain, then a bigger villain overall with everything. But the villain as well, I think maybe not the performance was exactly bad, I'd say, but still I could have had more time with the villain and be able to see the villain more and get more of a kind of intimate, more headspace with it. The villain in the first movie as well is more of a, I'm evil because I want to be evil. I'm an evil guy. That's all you need to know about me, which, yeah, essentially, but still, it could have benefited, I think, from having just more with this movie, more meat and potatoes with it to make a sequel feel more deserving. It does just kind of feel like a sequel for the sake of having a sequel. They could go into a third installment, which I'll just, mention a little bit later. I'll go into the sequel discussion here and how this was performing. But still, I think the movie just could have had more in it. The movie just, I think, for me, it felt just such like a distinct contrast between the first and second movie. I mean, obviously, different director, that makes a little bit of sense there. But still, the movie, just from the first film, it just felt so new and so unique to me. And maybe the fact that it is a sequel to the first movie, that it's not exactly new anymore. It's kind of the same old thing, but a different backdrop, which, was cool the first time around. But this time around, I kind of wanted more and something a little bit more new with this movie that wasn't really delivered to me. So still, overall, like I said, the movie isn't exactly bad, but I think just kind of, I just wasn't that moved by it that much. It didn't really hit for me like I really wanted it to. But still, my score for the film is a C, a 7 out of 10. It's not that high. It's definitely one of my lower rated films on the year, unfortunately. But still, I say go see it. I mean, if you just want a fun time to be entertaining with a bunch of, action and gore, then these films are going to be for you. If you don't need a crazy complex Manchester by the Sea level intimate character study, then, this film is going to be great for you. And I just want to talk about here just real quick also. Is there going to be a sequel? Will there be a Nobody 3? Does the film really need a sequel? Well, technically the first movie, Nobody, back in 2021, the first film didn't really need a sequel either. But, I liked it a lot that I said, hey, a sequel to Nobody would be cool. We see John Wick 4. That was a great movie. Now, John Wick 5 is apparently happening. We don't quite know yet. But still, Nobody 3. Can it happen? Should it happen? Well, a couple of things here. Number one, does it work financially? And number two, does it work narratively? I'll start off with narratively. That's a little bit easier here. So narratively, a sequel for Nobody can work. A Nobody 3, just, a true trilogy ending movie, it can happen. it can work. It can make sense. I won't spoil the movie. The movie doesn't end on a cliffhanger, so it's not like it's a Infinity War, now we need an Endgame kind of movie. It's not like that at all. It's not like a stark, very serious cliffhanger. We need to have a third film. Not that at all. But still, in the movie, it does drop some context and gives us some more story that makes a third movie make sense to me. It doesn't need to happen, but Bob Odenkirk, that he's already discussed and so told us that he is interested in having a third movie and continuing the story. So I think it can work narratively. It can happen. And Bob Odenkirk, he can do no wrong. I never get enough of him. I would love to see a third Nobody film in the future. I mean, who knows? So narratively, it works. I'm definitely all game for a third movie. But does it work for this film financially? Well, we don't know quite yet. I mean, it definitely is looking right now. This film will maybe be a flop in the box office. I mean, not my surprise at all. I said it before, too, that the marketing for the film was awful. They didn't really have any kind of good marketing for this movie, and that was definitely a problem here. And the movie right now, the time it's releasing in, is not very good at all. Superman, still in theaters. Fantastic Four, still in theaters. Jurassic World, not a good movie, but still in theaters right now as well. F1 just got released in IMAX again. Weapons also in theaters right now, and that is the second week in a row. It's the biggest film in theaters. Also, Naked Gun came out as well, and that movie is doing great numbers also. And Nobody is in a weird spot to where the marketing was not that good. No one is seeing it because, I mean, hey, the marketing just isn't that good right now. I mean, really, I'm not sure what they were doing, what they were thinking, but really, no one's talking about it. No one seems to be excited about the movie, and to not my surprise at all. And also with this movie just really not being a smash hit critically, I mean, really, I didn't like it. Seems like a lot of people don't really like it that much either. I mean, I don't hate it, but still, is it as good as the first movie? No, it's definitely the truth. It's definitely a step down from the first film, but still a fun time. But people just don't really have enough to warrant seeing this movie in theaters, unfortunately. And, just looking at the opening weekend numbers, this film only grossed $9.25 million, which definitely is a struggle. It fell short of its projections. Also, Weapons still in theaters. Also, Freakier Friday, it's in theaters right now also. And the marketing, like I said, the marketing not being good on top of that. Most likely this film will not make a lot of money, unfortunately, in theaters. And it most likely will not get a third installment. I do predict most likely this film will just get pulled from theaters by Universal. If it's just not making any kind of money and it's just kind of a waste for Universal to even have in theaters, then most likely I think it'll get pulled from theaters, unfortunately, and it won't make its entire budget back. I mean, with the $9.25 million opening, it's not that strong at the start. Most likely, as we go into a second and third weekend, it might not be good for this movie financially. So unfortunately, most likely a Nobody 3 won't happen. Do I hope it happens? I mean, sure, I'm still a fan of this film and Bob Odenkirk, and this franchise still has been a really whole lot of fun. But still, it's looking likely that the future of this franchise will end here with its sequel. That's unfortunate, but kind of the reality. And nothing exactly new either. I mean, movies right now haven't been performing that good. I mean, we definitely have had some great movies that have been performing really well. Like Weapons is doing huge numbers right now. But looking at films like Fantastic Four, that movie is struggling right now also. Even Superman it's underperforming to what it really should be. It only made $500 million. Definitely should be a $1 billion movie, in my opinion. Didn't perform that well either. And also Ballerina. That movie flopped horrendously also. There's a lot of great films that just haven't been pulling in big numbers. It's a very competitive market right now. Also, people may not want to go see movies, or maybe they don't have the money to see movies either. That could also be a thing. Or may not have faith in a movie to be good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure really what's happening right now. But still, that's really it for my review. To see, I'll probably be talking about this film as we go into the end of the year. And hopefully I rewatch it and like it more. Hopefully it makes more money so we can get a third movie. But for right now, we're not exactly quite sure yet for the future of this installment and this entire franchise. But still, that was a quick little review here for Nobody 2. And until next time, I'm your slogan. Stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more films, and until next time, I'll see you boys in the movies.